Ramos, the 3-plate on the outside. Green flag for Moto 2.
Much better up at the front for Paulie Massimino and Diego Ramos. This is really will probably be one of the first times we get a good look at Paulie as Chase Leo on the outside. Drops a tire on the exit there of turn number 4, running into the chicane into turn 5 and 6. But up front, a new look up front that we didn't get to see in that first moto for Paulie and Diego. And then Max Garcia, Moto 1 winner, puts himself in third. Roberts back and forth to Eric Doan. And this is really, again, the first real look we get up front is Ramos chasing down on Paulie into turn number 1. Change for the lead, maybe. Ramos has got it.
So Diego Ramos now. So I'm going to go.
And this is really, again, the first real look we get up front is Ramos chasing down on Paulie into turn number 1. Change for the lead, maybe. Ramos has got it.
So Diego Ramos now at the front of the 4-pack here. Paulie Massimino, Max Garcia, Davin Roberts. He was the complete innocent bystander of the field in Moto number 1, going wide off the start here. And now Max Garcia, the Moto 1 winner, gets by on Massimino. Let's see if Roberts tries to go in the very next corner as they go down into turn number 10 that time by. Paulie Massimino back to third, back still as Roberts hangs on for P4.
Davin Roberts in the 4th spot there. Much better second moto for him as well. Able to recover here a little bit. Antonino's back in the 5th spot. One of the rookies I'm going to keep an eye on that, along with Eric Doan. And then Blake Nash, reigning champion, down in 7th only at the start of this one. And again, just looking for a little bit more here.
Look at a huge run for Christia. Or I thought he had one. Sorry, Caleb, I thought he had a huge run. Ramos even parking the bus a little in the middle of the apex. As Christia rolled right up to him, he might have been able to make the move there, but he didn't. But indeed, Blake Nash spinning in 1. Now 7th here in Moto 2. Trying to close in. Eric Doan also got handed a penalty in Moto number 1. While he crossed the line in 2nd, it bumped him down to the 4th spot. As Massimino goes through back to 2nd.
Yeah, looking to work his way back up to Diego Ramos. Who, again, speaking a lot to Diego as well throughout this weekend. He's talked about just trying different things with the chassis, looking to find a little bit more speed. Everybody's been happy with the power plants, right? You would think, I mean, it is really year 3 of these power plants, almost year 4, I would say, of these power plants, and just figuring them out. Everybody's been happy with that, but just kind of getting that kart set up down this weekend has been something everybody's been struggling with. It's one of the Maranellos, one of the Carlos machines out of this race early. That looks to be just in the infield there, Xander.
Yeah, and we're down 2 of them. I don't know if that is Aston Driggers or Theo Corelli, one of the pair. Both of them went out in the last lap. As Davin Roberts goes back and forth here with Eric Doan. New driver. Another spot forward in the top 5, but into the top 4 for the first time today on track. How about Buddy Antonino? John Antonino, the rookie, now closes in on his teammate in Max Christia. Move him to 4th. Roberts 5th. Doan in 6th still. And then Nash now closing back in. He was half a second away at the start of this lap. He's on the heels of Doner. Now fighting for the final few spots there in the lead train. But Ramos is picking the pace up, and that is spreading them all out. You can see a couple of car lengths between everybody. The number 1 plate is buried in the middle of it. Ahead of Kremers and Aiden Lorenko, who is hanging on strong there, as is Austin Olds. I mean, the whole field's closer in some ways. In others, having the top qualifiers up front has spread everybody out as Christia makes a mistake there, dropping a tire. That'll put him out of shape here in the run out of the backstretch. And it'll bring Antonino closer. Look at this for 4th and 5th. Doan, Roberts, Nash going at it. Doan's gotten another one.
Yeah, good move there out of Eric Doan. Making up a spot, getting himself up to 5th. There goes Nash looking on the inside. Turn 14, he's got it. And putting himself up to 6th. Kremers looking for one as well. And Davin Roberts, who's holding on to it around the outside, turning on the inside into turn 1. But Kremers going in on turn 2. Marian to get a spot made there up to 7th for Kremers. And you see him just a little bit of a shifter line up and over almost every single curve there, taking them perfectly. We talked about how violent they were with some of the other classes, not affecting them too much, hitting them perfectly to just cut the corners a little bit short and get good enough exits out of them.
And for Marian Kremers, this is the development continuing for the Carlos Racing engines, powering himself, powering Paulie Massimino and the Maranello contingent also. And they're powering Massimino further forward. He has really chopped the gap back down to Ramos, or at least visually, that's how much he's pulled away from Max Christia. I thought that he was closing in, but last time by Ramos set his personal best and beat Paulie by about half a tenth. Christia lost about a full tenth to the leader, half a tenth to Paulie, lost a little bit to Antonino, and the fastest go-kart is not even the race leader, but it's his teammate in Eric Doan, 40.561, full tenth and a half faster than everybody else on the circuit, tracking quickly towards your leading quartet up front is the California native. Ahead of a fellow Californian and Blake Nash back there in 6th. Kremers 7th. Roberts all the way down to the 8th spot as he continues to slide. Next up will be Austin Olds and Aiden Lorenko. Then Chase Lee trying to close in there on the Bennett.
And it's just a little bit of a recovery here for Gassiet Lee off the track. Like I mentioned, on the exit of turn number 4 at the start, just looking to make up spots lost at the start of it all. But again, Paulie, when you looked at 3 laps ago, he was 2 tenths better than Diego. And then ever since, he's been a 10th down to the Burrell Hart in the number 3 car. So Paulie just needing about a 10th here to Diego to really close in and put on a challenge for the lead. Luckily for him, a lot of time still left on the board. We talked about how long these motos are. Already 9 laps in, with 4.5 minutes ago, and then another 2 laps. So still some time, but they're just right there, trading laps A 40.478 for Diego and a
4.8 for Paulie. 1/100th, the difference there. Cristea again off the road out of turn number 7, that time onto the back straightaway. This time he doesn't have as big of a gap to bleed to Antonino. He'll be vulnerable here for the next half a lap, and he knows it. Only a car length back to his teammate. Eric Doan continues to charge towards both of them on that PSL Beerlard. And for Paulie Massimino, what happens back here will equally play a factor of what happens for him up in the grid for the main as Antonino goes by. John Antonino up to third. That pass right there brings him that much closer to potentially going to the front row, because as they run right now, Diego Ramos would lead the field to green tomorrow, even after the chaos of Moto number 1. Max Cristea is still hanging on by a thread for the outside of the front row, and Antonino just got himself a little further away from Paulie Massimino on the heat points for third. And that's all, again, just to line up for that lengthy main event, which, as we're seeing here play out even in this second moto, there's a lot of time to go back forward if you don't start well, like this. Eric Doan, another one down for the 43.
Yeah, just looking to get his Beerlard up into, or further up, I should say, to teammate Diego Ramos closing in. That's a good move there out of Doan on Cristea, and then John Antonino next on the chopping block. We've seen the pace out of Doan, right? Early on, he had the speed. He was the fastest. Had the purple lap for a little bit there, but this lap looking a lot better than what it did a lap ago. 40.9 a lap ago for Doan. Maybe it wasn't the pace he would have wanted, but it also looks like Antonino's lacking a bit here. You see him struggling to get out of the corner there in turn 14, Xander, and Doan just closing into a car length.
Look how far back away, though, the leaders haven't run clean laps for the last bit of this race. They have pulled. At one point, the whole top 10 was covered by about 2.5 seconds. Now, it's nearly 8 back to Austin Olds and Levi Sangara's Nash machine. This is one of the only close battles on the racetrack. It's the looming fight for third. Eric Doan trying to overcome the penalty off of his P2 run initially in Moto 1. That bumped him back to the 5th spot. Now, if he gets by on John Antonino, it would leapfrog him from the 3rd row to the 2nd row. More importantly, it would make up for some lost championship points. Get him that much closer to being able to fight for the win tomorrow in the final. And he's close, right there. Teeing up for what could be a back straightaway run. Look at how different he has to attack the chicane, running that close to Antonino to still have a good exit, because again, he's right in that dirty air window. Right here as well. See the back end steps out a little. It did a touch, but not all too much here. The last turn will be the easiest probably to get up to the back of the 93, but he botched the entry. And Antonino pulls back away.
Yeah, Doan going up and over the curb there. Didn't look like it helped him out all too much. You see the gap open up, another car length there. Turn number 1 really seems like one of the prime spots to make a move here, Tanner. And again, that's all due to the exit out of turn 14 and 15, having a good run up to turn 1 and making a move down the inside. We've seen a lot of that, right? That's been, I would say, a good chunk of the moves that we've seen in this OKN class. And that's just it, right? Doan learning, or having to learn from, I'd say, a lap ago. What do you do differently this time, approaching turn number 10, to try and set up for a move in turn number 1?
I don't know. I mean, you try to get to these S's better, but again, you can see just the front end not keeping the go-kart behind it. The lower speed corner, though, was much easier for him to get out of. Antonino knows it. Doan's going to try it anyway. Eric Doan to the inside, decisively for third. And the PSL karting driver picks up another one. In this impressive drive through the field, nearly every spot he's earned here has been fully on merit, and he was buried back at the end of the opening lap here. Just a methodical, smooth drive here from Eric Doan from 6th by the end of lap number 2. Now slowly, quietly up and into third as the timer ticks to 0. And this will do it. 2 laps to go. They'll go 1 lap less than Moto number 1. Ramos takes us under lap 17 now. Actually, no. I think we did get in under the timer. So they might go the full 19. We'll have to wait till the next time by to see what the signal is. Per official timing and scoring, it is showing 3 laps remaining. So they will go the exact same distance there. They were on the limit of whether or not they get it. They did. And Paulie Massimino, the last couple of laps, has maintained at a 40.4, where Ramos has started to falter a little. That's what's brought that gap from just over 7/10 to 6.5. And with 2 laps to go, does Paulie make one last team here? Again, they're on the MG Yellows. They'll go to a sticker set in tomorrow's main event. No, it'll stay the same for the top 2. In fact, the whole top 5, top 6 seem pretty stationary. 7th, 8th, and 9th equally closer, but not all too much. And so now we can get a pretty good provisional read of who your top 3 in the heat points look to be. Working 2 laps to go. The white flag coming this time by for Diego Ramos. A 2nd place after the dust was finally settled in Moto 1. Crossing the line in 3rd, getting moved up after his teammate had a penalty. There's a little bit of official intervention. Of course, there was some chaos at the start that he was a part of. He had to drive back through the pack then. He has not had to do nearly that level of battling in Moto 2, Caleb, but as he enters his final lap, this will be the lap that punches his ticket to the pole tomorrow.
And it's a statement made as well for the PSL Karting Beerlards here on the Saturday, showing the long run paces there, showing it's not just Ramos, showing it's Eric Doan as well. But again, also seeing how important it is to perfect this corner right here, turn number 10. If you want to set up a move for the lead, it's going to be in turn number 1 probably. Maybe a preview for tomorrow. We'll see. But Ramos, 2 corners to go, and it's a much better second moto on the day.
He'll close it out with a comfortable gap. Diego Ramos wins Moto with a comfortable gap. Diego Ramos wins Moto with a comfortable gap. Diego Ramos